let's simplify some variable expressions. So we've done this before. And so let's look at 4th root of x to the 4th over y to the 8th. So let's just split up the fraction 4th root of x to the 4th over 4th root of y to the 8th. So 4th root of x to the 4th is just going to be x. And then y to the 8th, we can break that up. Let's make that as y to the 4th, y to the 4th. So that becomes x over y times y, or this is x over y squared. Now, just to throw this in here for this class, we're going to assume that all variables are positive. Okay, there's something else that happens when it's not all positive, so we're going to assume that all variables are positive. Even if you do know something about that, it has to do with absolute value. So we're not going to worry about that right now in this class. Okay, but technically, the numerator has to be absolute value because it has to be positive. But let's ignore that for now. Okay, so let's just say that the answer is x over y squared. So continue to do that for number 1 and 14. It's very similar. All right, trying this out. Letter B. You would, we already got that one. Number 1, you would get x over y to the 4th. So you can write it out as y to the 4th 4 times, or another way to write this, just as an FYI, is you could say this is y to the 16th divided by 4, which is also y to the 4th. Okay. Number 14, it's 5th root of x to the 10th. So let's split that up as x to the 5th, x to the 5th, and then 5th root of y to the 5, so just splitting up the fraction. So the numerator is x squared, the denominator is just y. Last example. So this is just a little bit more. I would say this is probably a little bit more of extra credit for now. Now, maybe second semester, well, depending on where we are in the semester. But these are good examples of what to do. They are a little more difficult, but we are using fractions and so forth, but we're adding and subtracting. The first one is probably okay to do, letter B. And so try that out. We need to make sure that we don't have a radical in the denominator, so try out B. And then see if you can also get C and 15. Okay, remembering the rules. When we're dividing, we subtract exponents. And remember, when you don't see anything there, there is an invisible 1 there. When there's a negative exponent, make sure you move it to the other side of the fraction bar, okay? So see if you can try these 3 examples. And they're a little bit more challenging. And then when you come back, I'll have the answers for you. All right, try this out. Letter B, you need to rationalize the denominator. So you need to multiply by 1 more y because I was missing 1 y. So that becomes x cubed root of y over y cubed, because now I have 3 perfect y's. For letter C, so you would subtract the exponent. So x, you would do x to the first minus 3/4, and then y to the 1/3 is by itself. Z to the negative 6 just moves to the numerator. So really all we have to simplify is this first one here. 1 minus 3/4. 1, we want to change that to a common denominator, so it's 4 over 4. So this is 4 over 4 minus 3/4, so therefore it's 7x to the 1/4, y to the 1/3, z to the 6. Number 15, there was a lot of work involved in that one. So simplify the 6 and the 3. 3 goes into 6 perfectly. It goes in there 2 times. Then x to the first and x to the 1/2. So I wrote that x to the 1 minus the 1/2 because that's in the denominator. Then we have y to the 3/4 and then minus a half. Now I need a common denominator, so that needs to be, I multiply that by 2 over 2, right, to get a common denominator. And so that one is 2 over 4. So looking at this, we have 2x to the 2 over 2 minus a half, y to the 3/4 minus 2/4. So therefore, 2 over 2 minus a half is just a half. Y to the 3/4 minus 2/4 is a 4th. So that's why the final answer is 2x to the 1/2, y to the 1/4. Now for extra practice, here are some more practice problems to help you out, and I hope this helped.